Certainly a cemetery plot. Don't see much in the way of old stones. Maybe the two on the right, the flat one, are older. Interesting because it looks like it's brand new, but it's 1910. Almost totally erased by weathering. This one, 1910 also. You can use stone, but the impermanence of it is still there. 1841. I can't read the balance. Sculptural tribute to those who've sailed these dangerous waters at times, I'm sure. Ultimately seeking safe harbor here. Security here. This carved relief stone may be a tribute to sailors who lost their lives, which there were about 10 or 12. I'm guessing that's what the plaque says. The irony is that it's here in New Zealand and other similar places that you realize how dangerous the places we live are, or how paranoid we've become. I'll bet their peaceful mooring belies some outrageously dangerous experiences, particularly for a landlubber like me. Some kind of gauge, probably either radar or depth finder, or both in there. Computer mounted to do the same, like commercial fishing lines, and you see a couple over there also. That's the bait tank. This looks like there are a bunch of red reels of line that go out over those yellow devices up front, and the same thing occurs in the back. It'd be interesting to see a video on how they fish. Spinning sculpture of real mast. So I'm going to do a walkabout town just to see what's of interest. It's supposed to be an old town, which is supposed to be right here. But that looks rather modern up on top. And these look somewhat older here. There's apparently a warehouse that's 150 years old, which is old in Iceland. These few buildings look older, and that one down there, Tang and Reese, looks like it might be the old warehouse. 1874. Just looks old and important with that very nicely done stone wall. It appears to be a shingled building, either that or very rough plank. I think it's the latter. Norwegian house built 1832. Just as it may appear here, in its day it may well have been the ostentatious large home of a wealthy shipper. This says 1847, but I'd bet you it was 1947 or a few years ago, the latest. This scene may present something of authentic past. Pretty little sunroom house set in this garden of what I think is rhubarb on the left. I'm purposely cropping out the houses that would damage the older look. What this is, I can't tell. There's no plaque on it. This 1847 building is the library, and it may reflect that it had a library in 1847. Here's the back sides of this old Norwegian home. It was the first wood frame house built in Iceland, and it was much of it was brought from Norway. Whether this was the old warehouse, I don't yet know. There's an old rusted anchor. I bet they pulled that out of the seabed. $1933. Well, it's not the 151. Those doors do suggest warehouse. I don't know what this is, but they're displaying the original old wall with lights. Probably an old home or hotel converted into now a restaurant or a bed and breakfast. And this a shop, or no, a restaurant now. But it looks like someone's home, doesn't it? And this, the old church. My guess is that these nails or fasteners of some sort reflect the internal design of this building. Pretty in its Icelandic simplicity. Nice windows. Hopefully an old house converted to a restaurant. But who knows? That is when everything gets converted to that kind of cement junk. What a way to destroy any ambience you might have had. Their simplicity alone suggests they may be authentic. This might be more or less an original, authentic setting. We can hope, of course. Notice how that board at the bottom keeps rain off the stones, away from the foundation. Notice how this house is built right into the rock wall, right within inches of it. At least that addition was. And what great views the Gray House has. And what spectacular views these homes have. And this one in particular has had as an old home in both directions. What a magnificent view. Magnificent locations for this site. This house intrigues me a bit because of its pristine simplicity. It's 2 stories, quaint little windows. Notice they're different windows. One was upgraded. What history, what stories could this little house tell? Sad, happy stories. What was Christmas like here? The death of someone. The old steel. Corrugated steel. 1900. You can just imagine somebody with enough bucks came in here and bought this place and put up this gauche building. What an ugly building. Couldn't doubt that those are the homes of wealthy people in the past. This certainly looks like a warehouse type building, but who knows, with that pulley pulling stuff up to the 2nd floor and if necessary even higher. Important to the fishing here. Old whaling harpoon gun.